Hello and welcome to Sports Tonight on Channels Television. I am Taya Salam. Bolu Omoni is going to join me on the show today, and we're going to be taking a look at all the amazing and incredible stories across the morning, across the world of sports late on the show tonight. Bolu, good evening. Come through, man.
Yeah, good to be here again, and I've been looking forward to having a show with you, so definitely going to enjoy ourselves today.
Indeed, definitely. Austin Okonakman is definitely on the program as well tonight. Austin, good evening.
Sporty greetings to you, Tayo, and of course our viewers joining us from different parts of the world. It's always a delight to be on the show. Tayo, remember, on Tuesday, I told you to brace up that we're going to see more drama coming from the Nigeria Football Federation, and this September 30th elections. We're already seeing it. I'm sure you know that we'll see more drama. And then Roger Federer, I'm in between. A lot of tennis fans are emotional that Roger Federer is saying goodbye to the sport. He said he's going to miss tennis, but that he will never leave it.
Also, you're spot on. Surprise, surprise about the September the 30th elections for the NFF. We're going to be talking about that later on the show. But you started off already with Roger Federer. The news that a lot of people saw coming, but still wasn't totally ready for. That's how I would describe that news, because it kind of hit me really hard when Roger Federer came up with that statement on social media. That's where the news was broken that he's going to be retiring from professional tennis next week at the Laver Cup right there in London, Austin.
That's right. I'm glad that he's wrapping it up right here in London, so fans have an opportunity to see him. Remember, he holds about 8 titles from Wimbledon, so he's got so much love in the United Kingdom. Roger Federer, what a story, Tayo. 20 Grand Slam titles for this guy who started tennis, I think, at about 18 in 1998, but waited till 2003 to win his first Grand Slam title right here in England. Tayo, remember that record, 310 weeks as world #1. Just recently that Novak Djokovic broke that. He's got 103 ATP titles, 28 Masters 1000 titles, 6 ATP final victories, 31 Grand Slam finals, 1 Davis Cup triumph, and this is the one that I know will stun you and Bolu. Roger Federer, in prize money in his career, he has won 114 million pounds, Tayo.
That's a lot of money. Bolu, your thoughts are when you first saw that story. Of course, you weren't surprised, right?
Well, picking it from what you said, everyone expected Roger Federer, especially with his absence for a while. And when you hear wisdom, I think Federer is one of the definitions of that. At some point in his career, he started selecting tournaments he went for. True. Remember when he won the Grand Slams in 2017, and he didn't bother going for the French Open, because you could have sworn that this belongs to Nadal. So let me not stress myself. So we were waiting for, okay, Federer was not retired, but when will he retire? Then he didn't give us the heads up. He just came out with, okay, well, it's good to go. Now we are now reminiscing, oh, this guy was this and that. You can support Djokovic, you can support Nadal, but I don't think there's any tennis fan that will come out boldly and say, I hate Federer. He brought a different dynamics to tennis entirely. He brought what many, okay, you can call the likes of Messi, Ronaldo in football. They brought fame, they brought stardom. You can talk about Hamilton for Formula One. That's what Federer did to the world of tennis. And his finesse, his style, his guile while playing is completely different from everyone. All those playing between your legs, playing backhand, turning your back against the court, that is Federer. So definitely we'll miss him. We are looking out for, okay, who will give us the same style again? But we may never have another Roger Federer again.
I don't think there will be another Roger Federer. Let's take a look at some of the titles, just the career highlights of Roger Federer. As you can see right there, he's an absolute champ. 103 career titles, Grand Slams 20. I remember then when we were growing up, Bolu, and Pete Sampras was on 14 majors.
He was the legend.
And we thought, yeah, no one is getting close to this record. Austin, you're laughing, and this guy comes and absolutely shatters it. And we're like, all right, cool. This is going to take forever to get broken as well, to not knowing Nadal and Djokovic were lurking in the corner. But Austin is an absolute legend, and SW 19, his favorite tennis court, 8 Wimbledon titles.
Fantastic, Tayo. Let me set the record straight. I said he started playing at 18. No, he started playing at 16, but got that first Grand Slam title in 2003. He started playing in 1998, and he has enjoyed a lovely career, Tayo. Bolu described him so well. It's just something about Federer's personality that you just love. You know, I remember, Tayo, when we do the show together in Lagos, I used to tell you and Cecilia that I call him the daddy of tennis, you know, because it's just, he does it with so much admiration, you know, and you're just going to love him for that. He says, look, at 41, it's time to listen to his body. And remember, when he had that knee injury, we knew that it was going to be very difficult after that surgery. So Roger Federer and everything he has done for tennis, I don't think we'll ever stop talking about this guy. He's a legend through and through. Remember when we celebrated the centenary for at center court, when he was called out, you saw the love for this guy right there, Roger Federer. He will be missed big time. But he said, look, to the game of tennis, I love you and will never leave you.
Yeah, spot on. So many records to talk about for Roger Federer, Bolu. The oldest world #1 in tennis history, that was in 2018. He was 36 years old at the time. We've talked about the majors already. Austin talked about the prize money, Australian Open titles, 5 US Open titles, and he managed to win 1 French Open title, so you can't say he didn't win a Grand Slam on the clay court. So he's an all-round player. A lot of people actually believe he is the best all-round player, and I don't think there's much arguments about that.
I think he still has the record for the number of consecutive weeks as world #1. I think about 237 weeks, and it was #1 at the year end for 5 different occasions. So he's an all-round player. His forehand is superb. His backhand is lovely. And you can't say this is the style Federer is bringing to tennis. Like I said earlier, you cannot hate him. You may not be a big fan. You may like Nadal. I think I love Nadal.
I'm a big Nadal fan as well.
You may like Djokovic, but you cannot. But it's like the Zidanes of football, like the Ronaldinos. You may be an enemy in terms of fan base, but you just cannot hate them. Federer is all around. Now, it's easy looking at it. Well, he's stepping out. We'll still see him one more time. But when you don't see him, imagine having Serena and Federer retiring at the same time. That's a miss for both the men's and the women's tennis. But again, it's sports. Like Austin said, he knows what the body is telling him. We may think you can still play till 45, but when your body says it's time to cool off, you have to listen or you keep visiting the hospital. So let's enjoy the final tennis tournament to be playing. Like Serena, either he wins, either he loses from round 1, he's definitely going to get all the possible applause.
So that's the Laver Cup, where you expect Team Europe to obviously win that competition as well. So they have been dominant over Team World at the Laver Cup. Roger Federer is going to be missed by a lot of fans across the world, but especially the fans at SW19, that's the Wimbledon Championships. Let's take a listen to the fans. They've been talking about the news about Roger Federer retiring from tennis next week.
To me, he's the Jordan of tennis. Style, class, amazing tennis player. So I've been watching him since I was 15. So it's definitely my favorite. I'm a little bummed. I wish that he would have played. I don't know if he ever played Alcaraz, but I would have liked to have seen that. Or maybe he's just like, oh, I've seen that kid play. I don't know if I want to play him anymore, so he threw in the towel. But definitely bummed to see him retire. And it's kind of crazy because we wanted to come and see Wimbledon, and then this morning I saw that he retired. So it's like, oh my gosh, what's ironic coincidence. But yeah, definitely my favorite. I just said it the other day, like Federer will always be my favorite, greatest tennis player of all time. But yeah, sad day for tennis.
Everyone knows Roger Federer and what he's achieved on a tennis court, and no more so than here at Wimbledon, where he's won 8 titles, and he'll be missed every year now from the grass. It just won't be the same without him. You know, you look forward to Wimbledon, you look forward to watching Federer in centre court. I know I queued up a couple of years ago, and my intentions was to get to see Roger in centre court, because once you experience that, that's pretty much the pinnacle in tennis.
His style, he was just so fluid and made it look easy. Never sweat. Even when it was tough points, he just was. He was like one of a kind. I mean, he played like a classical game, like the old Australians almost, if you want to say.
I think each one has their own strengths, but I think overall as his game, across all parts of his game, I think he's full. I would say he's a player who's complete in all aspects of the game, and that's why I think he's a true champion.
True champion indeed, Roger Federer. So many records to talk about, but one very interesting fact about Roger Federer is the fact that he never retired in a tennis match.
Well,
check that out. That's incredible durability.
It's either he loses or he wins, and his win ratio is about 82%. That's massive. Some persons don't even have 50%. So 82%. And if you check most of the ones they lost in that 18%, look how most of it would either be Nadal, or either Nadal or Djokovic. And most of the time, those two guys, after beating him, end up winning. It shows he never gave up, even at his old age. He still won Grand Slam at 2018. That's not something you say all the time. So if anyone is saying ABC about Roger Federer, just believe me, he deserves anything. Like we said off here, I don't think I've seen Federer get angry on the court before. Maybe get angry, smash his racket.
So graceful,
and I don't
elegant
think he has.
player.
When he loses, okay, well, it's a loss, come back stronger and better. It chooses when he was getting older, it chose the competition he went for. I can't do this, I can do that. And like you said, at least he won the French Open. He didn't get the career slam, yes, but he still won everything. He even had two Olympic gold medals, single and then the double. So all-round winner for Roger Federer. We'll definitely miss him, but let's see. It feels like the next gen are ready to wake up this time around with what we saw them do in the Grand Slams this year.
Austin, before we leave the matter of Roger Federer, I mean, last word to you. You're going to get the opportunity, I believe, to see Fed Express in action at the Labour Cup in London. Surely.
I should, I should. He's calling it quits. And for guys in my generation, Federer made us start loving tennis. So I must just take that opportunity to go take a look at Roger Federer. He's a legend through and through. And I love the way Billie Jean King described him. He said, Roger Federer is a champion's champion. I think that's what it is, that he has the most complete game of his generation and captured the hearts of sports fans around the world with an amazing quickness on the court and a powerful tennis mind. There's just something, there's this aura, this charm. If he was a boxer, it would have been Anthony Joshua, but we love this guy so much. We'll miss him. Let's see. He said he would never leave the sport. So when he's done with the Labour Cup, I'm sure he's going to find something to keep doing for tennis so that the fans will keep seeing him.
It's been a very interesting couple of weeks for tennis fans across the world. First of all, Serena Williams, and now Roger Federer. Who's next?
Well, maybe Nadal.
Nah, you better not.
Because if, like Federer, if the injury persists, you probably just have to step down. And like everyone will attest to, there's nothing for these guys to play for anymore. Even if someone comes and wins the 30 Grand Slam,
they're absolute legends already.
Their names there's a Wikipedia page titled Big Three. Just the three of them, only for the three. So they've done everything they need to do, nothing more. Like Moses said, the only thing we'll be seeing for Roger Federer now will be maybe in the local palace, some little thing. Like Serena also said, they don't want to leave. I'm retiring, but I'm still in the sport. So maybe novelty matches, some games for charity and all. But for proper competition, it's game over for them.
It's game over, indeed. We'll still get an opportunity to watch Roger Federer one more time next week in London. Austin, guys, let's get on with the show and talk about what went down this morning in Abuja. That's at the Aso Villa. We're all expecting it. We'll be looking forward to it. Team Nigerian contingent to the World Athletics Championships, as well as the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Austin, you covered that extensively. Finally, they got a presidential reception, which they thoroughly deserved.
I know, I love it so much because I always say that we need to appreciate our athletes, and when you have the #1 citizen in the country, President Muhammadu Buhari, stepping out right there with grace and charm to go meet the athletes. This is huge motivation. Let's even not talk about the rewards that these guys have the opportunity of meeting the #1 citizen, saying, well done, thank you for representing the country so well. We will never forget this year with sports in Nigeria, from what Toby Amuson did at the World Championships. And look at her looking so beautiful and looking so dapper and all of that right there. You never know that she's a beast on the track, It was good to see them shake hands with the president. Ese Brume right there. These ladies didn't just go to the Commonwealth Games style. They went there to break records. From weightlifting to track and field, Nigerian athletes were fantastic, breaking records. And this is an opportunity once again to appreciate the women for what they did at the Commonwealth Games. 12 gold medals all came from women, and my special athletes. What a story. I was with Folashade Oluwafemi Ayo, and she said there's just something that happens whenever they play the Nigerian national anthem, that it gives us so much joy, and love for the country. I love it that the presidency has rewarded this excellence for them, and I know it will push them to keep winning and then promote sports development in Nigeria. I know Bolu wants to talk about this, but let's quickly listen to President Muhammadu Buhari right there after he received the athletes and rewarded their excellence.
I'm delighted to host you today in Abuja. I join Nigerians to stand up for you all, the companions, indeed our dear national heroes and heroines. You have all distinguished yourselves as worthy ambassadors of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are proud of you. You proudly flew the Nigerian flag in 9 sporting events. I watched with millions of Nigerians those exciting moments when you all brought smiles to us and our homes by breaking world, national, and games records, as well as achieving personal best in your careers. Your outstanding performances in recent times are consistent with the determination of a nation always yearning for excellent performance. You all, members of Team Nigeria, have ignited the spirit for victory in our nation, but even more, you have been victorious in major sporting championships and games. I have followed keenly your achievements at the World Championships in Oregon, United States of America, and indeed your remarkable performance at the recently concluded Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, United Kingdom. And I am very pleased that you displayed at both the personal and group levels great sporting talents and delivered for your country great podium performances.
President Muhammadu Buhari appreciating the athletes, gave out about 200 million naira and national honors were given to the world record holders. So Bolu, I love this, I just love it when athletes are appreciated, when we tell them, well done, you're making the country proud and we love you.
And beyond the honor, beyond the money, the honors they got. I remember back in secondary school then, a friend of mine had a handshake with the governor.
Man,
you cannot touch him. He said he was not going to have his bat. Keep the hand, don't get close, moving the hand away. Then now imagine a presidential handshake bestowing the honors of the Officer of the Order of Nigeria. So I think that's probably the biggest, bigger than the money, especially Toby and the likes are receiving. And I hope the money is not audio. I hope they get the money. So it shows, like Austin Riley broke it down, there's more to sports than we think, especially for women. Many guys, growing up, you hear girls know they play ball. Football is not now we are seeing the most successful team on the African continent is the Super Falcons. The Super Eagles are way, way behind. So I think it just shows the importance of sports. It shows if you're a woman in sports, there's even more support for that. So it's just an encouragement to everybody. If you want to meet the president and have a handshake, the easiest way, just win something for Nigeria. You definitely get the call up.
Go shine for Nigeria, right? Austin.
That's right, I love it, and look, I just can't wait to see what next season holds for Nigerian athletes, particularly if we continue this build-up to the Paris 2024 Olympics. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on this quick break. I know, Taye, you've got things to say as regards that reception in Abuja, but we'll do that when we come back from this break. So don't go anywhere. Stay. Welcome back. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. President Muhammadu Buhari today in Abuja received athletes from the 2022 Commonwealth Games and the World Championships in Oregon, Nigeria. Shone like a million stars, broke records, won gold medals, and our ladies made us so proud. Tayo, we will never stop talking about this record-breaking performance, particularly that we're hoping that the athletes will sustain the momentum.
Yes, you're spot on, Austin. I think Tobiloba Amushon's performance in Oregon was just incredible. No one's, I mean, a lot of us thought she stood a chance of winning the medal, but we didn't see a record-breaking performance. I mean, 12 seconds. That's just shattering the old record. And I mean, they deserve thoroughly all these accolades are coming their way because of what they've done, what they've achieved for the country. The sports minister, of course, is at the, you know, at the forefront of all of this, and he was part of the reception as well too. He's had a lot to say about how this year Nigerian sports is simply unforgettable.
The power of sports has summoned us all here before you, Mr. President. One nation, indivisible, under God. Yes, indeed, under sports. May I, on behalf of Nigerian sportsmen and women, thank you, Mr. President, for this rare privilege to assemble here in the presidential villa for the sole purpose of recognizing and celebrating our sportsmen and women who have done this country proud. We thank you most sincerely. While your eagerness to identify with our sportsmen and women each time they compete, no matter the outcome, is on record, Mr. President, what is unquestionable is your commitment to the development of our youth, particularly in sports and other areas of endeavor. Today, this presidential reception stands as adroit testimony to your belief that Nigeria's road to greatness, though sometimes bumpy, cannot be denied. Permit me, Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, to say that you will agree with me that the year 2022 has become an outstanding year in the history of our country when it comes to sports. We will not forget this year in a hurry. It is a year where many sporting federations surpassed and are surpassing their previous performances. It has become a year where many athletic records were broken. More is expected. It's quite a long list. However, the most remarkable, Mr. President, if you permit me, is in the track and field, where our own dear Oluwa Tobilola Amuson, in a span of 4 months, won Nigeria's first ever gold medal in World Athletic Championships in Eugene, Oregon, USA.
As Minister of Sports Sunday Dare speaking at the reception held for Team Nigerian contingent to the World Athletics Championships as well as the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Bolu, before we leave this matter, the ministry, they've had their critics. Obviously, they're not perfect. They've made some horrendous decisions you know, under their watch. But surely some credit has to go their way for what Nigerian sports has achieved in 2022.
Like what Russell was saying, from the World Athletics Championship in Oregon, moving to the Commonwealth Games, and even in Zurich for the Diamond League, everything was just working well, especially for the likes of Toby Amoson. And I like that they brought this early. The reception with the president came, not that the Diamond League ended, they were waiting for 1 full year cycle before the meeting was done. The reception was immediate, fast, pacey, and everything is working out well. So you can call it luck for those girls. At the same time, if it's not working well, we hit out at these people. Yeah. So now that it's also working well, we need to give them credit. We just hope it continues like this. When these guys do well, don't wait till the next 20 years before we celebrate them. Let's give them the necessary celebration now. It will ginger the next year, like I said earlier. If you want to meet the president without stress, just go represent Nigeria at the Olympics and bring home a gold medal. I promise you will shake the president.
Austin, you're laughing. I mean, that was a very straightforward situation.
Yeah, you know, but we've also had situations where people win and they're begging to see the president. But this is laudable, and I totally agree with Bolu. When the ministry does well, we should say well done. And I want to say well done to the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development under the leadership of Mr. Sunday Dare. the Adopt an Athlete program was a masterstroke. You know, it wasn't just an initiative. It made Nigerians responsible for our athletes. You know, philanthropists came up, people gave these athletes support, and from the time we had that Adopt an Athlete initiative, went to the Tokyo Olympics, you could tell that the signs started showing that these athletes are feeling comfortable competing for the country. And we took that, you know, went into the World Championships. This lady, we can't stop talking about her, Toby Express. What a story. Smashed the world record. You mentioned it, 12-12 in the semis, and went on to win gold again in the final. Tayo went to the Commonwealth Games. She ran 12.30 to smash the Commonwealth Games record. Essay Brume smashed the Commonwealth Games record for long jump. We can go on and on and on, and that's what we're talking about. When the president now meets you and say, well done, you have done us proud. When you go back home, there's nothing your parents can tell you. You know, when the number one citizen tells you you're doing great.
What else can you say?
If you disrespect mommy and daddy, they can't run you down, you know. I'm just saying this is good. Well done to the Ministry of Youth and Sports Development. Let's do more.
Let's do more. That's the message to all the authorities out there. Nigeria, with its vast resources, definitely can do a lot more when it comes to sports. So let's get on with the show now. Let's talk about the elections. No, before we talk about the elections, the elephant in the room, there's an update coming from the courts. Yeah, when you hear the courts and football, alarm bells starts to ring. We don't like that at all. But that's the story coming from a court in Abuja, which has now put the NFF elections on hold. It's supposed to go down on the 30th, but Austin said it a couple of days ago on the show that he has a lot of doubts about that, and it's panned out to be so.
I've been asking guys for a few weeks now, almost every time, will the election hold? September 30, is it a feasible date? People keep telling you it will hold, so because when you start seeing some hands writing on the wall, you start having doubts. When they are playing back and forth, 2 weeks to election is when we choose to verify candidates. 2 weeks to election is when we decide, okay, who are we taking out? Who are we allowing to run for this election? As at Tuesday, Wednesday, we thought it's good to go. But fortunately, it feels like there's a problem.
Before we get Austin's reaction to the latest surrounding this NFF election being put on hold, the candidates are still out there. So they are ready whenever the elections take place. They'll be ready to contest. One of them is Ibrahim Gusau. He's been talking about his plans for the federation if elected as the president of the Nigeria Football Federation.
To provide NFF with requisite leadership to develop, promote, control, and regulate association football throughout Nigeria in an open, transparent, and sustainable manner. To return the Super Eagles to the top 15 from 31st main national team in the world, inshallah. To return our Super Falcon to the 20th position from the 46th female nation in the world of football, inshallah. To reposition the local league to the top 30 from 60 in the world, by the grace of God. Provide the appropriate funding support to state association and other critical stakeholders for grassroots football development. Maximum publicity, hype, forge strategic alliance with foreign leagues, sub-partners, and corporate Nigerian leveraging on proper packaging, branding, and sustained aggressive marketing. Endgame, to make the league visible and attractive again, have the fans return to the stands and oversee the return of quality and competitive football and achieving positive results from the continental scheme.
Welcome back, Ibrahim Gusau, one of the 11th candidates for the NFF presidential elections. Austin, take it away. I know you have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, let me commend the guys who are competing for the presidency of the Nigeria Football Federation. I see they turn up for themselves. You know, during the unveiling of Sheyi Akiwumi, I saw Gusau there. I saw Musa Amadu. I saw Peter Said Ida. I think same thing with Gusau. You can still see that they're coming out. So that's good, you know, show of sportsmanship, you know. So it means, yeah, it's politics, but there's no there's no hatred going on or persons, you know, being bitter that this person is running, so I'm going to keep away from him and all of that. It means they know themselves and they've been working with themselves for some time. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. I told you guys that we should hope for these elections to happen. The Professional Football Association of Nigeria, Harrison Jala, has been in the forefront. They've been saying that they want equal representation in the NFF Congress, because they're saying out of 44 persons, if you have 37 as FA chairman voting, then nobody stands a chance, you know, to win the election. This court order injunction has been there, but the NFF went on to fix the election. So what they just did, they went back to the court to say, see, people are trying to disrespect what you guys are doing. We'll wait to see where this will end. Don't forget, Tayo, remember the elections that brought in Amaju Pinnick? From the first election to the one in Katsina, it was from one court in Jos to another one in Abuja till we had the election. So this is just election shenanigans. But this guy should sit back and say, look, if people are aggrieved, then we're not taking our football to anywhere. If people feel cheated, that you're not doing the right things, for instance, Harrison Jala and his team, they've said they want an amendment to the NFF 2010 statutes, and they just want equal representation. Just bring more people into it so that, you know, the voting pattern can change. But it is what it is. The NFF, they have their reasons. They know what they're doing, and they're trying to just, you know, keep things the way it is. And we're going to have these problems going on and on and on and on. Don't forget, we're still battling what happened with the league management company being considered illegal. Today, reports reached the media that police went to seal the office of the league management company. Look, all these are damages. There are damages we're doing to our football, and it's looking like these damages will be irreparable for football in Nigeria. I heard Ibrahim Gusso saying he wants to return football to the glory days, do this and do that. But we are not sitting back and saying, we need to take away selfish interests. We need to consider football, you know, and let go of this fight for the soul of football that we see every year whenever there's an election coming up in Nigeria.
Yeah, it's a recurring decimal, and it's very, very tiring. I mean, Bolu, this is not what we should be talking about at this stage.
Remember, Austin talked about Phoenix's first election. It felt like it was a joke. It felt like the drama was beyond football. I say it all the time. Until the statutes will be changed to equal representation, it will be easier for Alex International to become president of Nigeria than president of the NFF. So it's more like we forget everything until it's election time. Everybody,
the same issues are right ugly at the
We've seen it with basketball, we've seen it with AFL, we see it in almost every federation from one drama to the other. And it's unfortunate that now it's coming to football. The sports are, you can call it the elite sports in Nigeria where everyone comes together. Like we were discussing I don't think the MPFL is starting anytime soon with the drama with the LMC because, ministry said they should have IMC down his interim. Until that is sorted out, who are the people to sort it out? The NFF, who are also having problems. So does it mean the Pinnick administration will continue to election, or is it a stylish way of extending the 6 months you requested for AGA? So too many questions to be asked. If these things are not sorted out before September 30, we may have even more questions.
Yeah, your spot on Austin. Let me come back to you on that one. Harrison Njala, Victor Baribote, Austin Pogba, these are all football stakeholders in the country, and what they want is very clear, an amendment of the 2010 statutes. And why do you think that is becoming a complicated situation? Why don't you just amend it and let's carry on with the game? What's the issue?
Interest, Tayo, you know, and that's what it is. That's politics, and we're saying that we should take off any form of politics from our football and just see that we should be doing the things that will bring about development. Because if you look at our football right now, it's in tatters. We didn't qualify for the World Cup, and the Super Falcons at the WAFCON is not the same representation we used to see from them. There are good signs from the under-20 that went to Costa Rica, but with our football these days, people have their hands on their chin, you know, and that's because we are focusing on more politics than administration and development. So we are not part of the NFF Congress, so we don't understand or know why they don't want to, you know, achieve this equal representation that FIFA and they're fighting for. But it is what it is, Tayo. It's all about interest. And you know my favorite line, until you solve a problem, it remains a problem. So people must find a way to come to the middle and then give football the room. Let it be about football, because right now you can tell it's all about selfish interest, and that's what is hurting the game.
Austin, you might need to get ready to bring back your NFF drama series with the way things are going right now, Austin.
I know, you know, because it's just drama everywhere, you know, and each time you speak to these guys, they just don't care. For Amadou Pinnick and to an extent his team, they've done almost 8 years. It's time to say goodbye. But what is leadership if you're not handing over properly? You know, and that's the message I'm passing to this current NFF board, particularly those who are contesting. Sit down and have the conversation for the love of the game, for the good of football development in Nigeria, because it seems they're enjoying this crisis, from Sani Lulu to Aminu Megari, to even, in fact, the entire 8 years, Pinnick didn't do it with his eyes, with 2 eyes closed. It's one court order to another court problem and all of that. And you could tell it's a clear testament of what's happening with our football. When administration is not fixed, then we're not going anywhere.
It's a shame, Bolu.
A big shame. We shouldn't be talking about this now. This is 2022. I thought 8 years we would have learned from it, but it feels like every time we come back to this same problem, these same issues, every year, every federation, every sport. I say it all the time. Without athletes, in quotes, all these administrators are useless, because there's no NFF without footballers. There's no LMC without the MPFL. And how come these guys are still the same people suffering? Look at basketball. We don't have a Division 1 league for almost 6 years now, and there's a board. What are you doing there? Look at the last Commonwealth Games. We had representatives from badminton go there, but athletes didn't go. What are you going there to do? NFF, if the players are suffering, why are you there? Now, I want to wait for the outcome of it, because if there's no election, what happens after September 30? Will this board with Pinnick and Diko and Sheyakumi just walk away? Because if they walk away, they have the right to, because their tenure would have ended. Or they'll still tell them to stay or set up interim.
There's going to be an interim, obviously.
Too many questions. Too many
questions. Anyways, hopefully we can get answers at all these questions very soon, so Nigerian football can continue to thrive. But the story is the elections are set for September the 30th, has been put on hold by a court in Abuja. Let's leave the drama off the field and go back to the field. That's where we are really interested, and that's what gets us excited, what's happening on the field, on the court. And let's focus now on the Betsy Obasaki women's football tournament. We're down to the finalists, which is going to go down tomorrow at the Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium. Edo Queens will take on FC Robo. Edo Queens, of course, the host team, the home team, taking on the Lagos-based FC Robo, while the third place match is going to be between Nasarawa Amazons and Delta Queens. I mean, Bolu, you've been following the competition. It's a preseason tournament, but it's been very competitive.
Last week, the leader of the women's football, Aisha Fayode, spoke about this is like the best preseason tournament for them. Absolutely. Most of all those preseason tournaments for the guys, the men all the time. And this is good money, because every representative here, at least you're taking home 500,000. Then the winner here gets 5M, second 2.5, third 1.5. And I think the fourth place team will get 750. That's still good money. And with the way, I love Edo Queens, I love what they're doing, but I'm sorry, like you said, the Robo and the Lagos, so I think I'll preach my chest for them. And with the way they've been scoring for fun in this tournament, one of the players has 7 goals already. In the last round, they won by 4 goals to 1. Edo Queens needed a penalty to beat their neighbors, Delta Queens. So it's definitely an interesting tournament. And like one thing is key, they bring this event, they attach it to something happening socially. It means beyond football, they are still trying to help socially as well. So I think it's a brilliant initiative. And I remember, I think it was Austin who asked Betsy Obasaki last year, that is this a one-off? Or you are going to continue this? And she said it's not a one-off, it will continue. And here we are with second edition. So if we have many people in different states doing things like this, one thing I believe is sport gets people busy. Sport reduces violence. Sport brings money. And sport takes you to where you never thought you could be. Many athletes today have traveled around the world thanks to sport. So this is a beautiful, brilliant change. Like you said, the final is tomorrow. Third place, 11 a.m. They separated the final, where the final is by 5 p.m. for all the ceremonies before and all. So it's definitely an interesting event. Ask journalists that are covering the event live there. They will tell you the beauty of the game they are seeing. At least I've seen some women's football even in Nigeria. And I know if you believe women know they play football, come and watch with Nigerian women's football. So I'm expecting the final to be as interesting as all the games all through.
Definitely. Austin?
Yeah, you know, we've said everything about the Betsy Obasaki Women's Football Tournament. I love the social message behind the competition. But yesterday when I listened to Coach Christopher Danjuma, I was like, calm down, you know, because it's defeating the purpose, you know, but you could tell that everyone wants to win, you know, that's it, it's success. So I would like to see a good final between FC Robo and Edo Queens, but let's not forget the message behind this competition. Very, very important. And let's also charge. This is what I did last year, and I'm going to do it again. Let's charge other first ladies. See what Betsy Obasaki is doing. First lady of Cross River State. It might not be football. You could do something with table tennis, with tennis. First lady of Akwa Ibom, first lady of Kwara. Let's find ways to, you know, empower the girl child through sports, and that's a good way, you know, to do it. Achieve social change in the society, bring about development, and, you know, make our ladies responsible people in the society.
Yeah, the message is not lost on us at all. Say no to drugs, which is, according to the experts, is fast becoming a societal problem in the country. So shout out to Betsy Obasaki for this incredible competition. Final is going to go down tomorrow. Like we said, should be very exciting. You talked about FC Robo, despite the fact that they end up losing a lot of their talents, but they keep churning them out. It's incredible.
I think they're probably one of the best women's academy we have in Nigeria.
I like the fact you're calling them academy.
That's what it is, because every year...
Because they play in the NWFL.
The likes of Asisat Oshoala, Rashidat Ajibade, even the superstar on the 20th star unit, it feels like Monday Gift as well. 1 year, A leaves. The following year, B comes back. Someone else is moving. It shows consistency with the club. And I saw some younger girls even at this event. So don't be surprised if you see some players from Robo in another team in the NWFL for next season. So it's definitely good to be enjoyed. But football, will see stranger things happen. You may win 9-0 all through the competition and lose by 1-0 in the final. I remember Greece at the 2004 Euro. So we still can't write off Edo Queens. I remember last year they finished third. They are in the final this time around, so they would want to win at home. But whatever happens, like you rightly said, beyond the football, the social message is very key. That's why, as they are saying, Betsy Obasaki Cup, they are touching the social message. So stop drug abuse, and everyone is going to be fine. So looking forward to the finals tomorrow.
Austin, your last word?
Yeah, I think we should look beyond the football. It's very, very, very important. You know, let's listen to those girls when they come out to play football. Let's pay close attention to their development and try to take off the win at all cost syndrome, which you can tell Christopher Danjuma was all about yesterday when he was going on and on about the officiating. Let's do it for the love of the game. This is a beautiful competition, and I just hope that they keep it going, Tayo.
All right, we hope that they keep it going indeed. By the time we come back on the show tomorrow night, you'd have the results. You'd know the champions of the Betsy Obasaki Women's Football Tournament. So make sure you stick with us on Sports Tonight. Let's get on with the show and let's give you updates concerning Super Eagles striker Umar Sadiq. Sad news a couple of days ago, but a bit of good news now, and the fact that he's undergone a successful knee surgery, ACL, one of those injuries that scares a lot of athletes. But thankfully, because of medical advances now, this injury is not as scary as it used to be back in the days, and everyone is hopeful that he's going to make a full recovery.
I'm one of Sadiq Umar's biggest fans. I've been following him for a while, even in the Spanish second division. Moved to the La Liga with Almeria, got goals in his first few games, got his debut with Sociedad, also scored in his debut. United fans will remember that name for last week because he also threatened them till he got sub. But immediately I saw the injury, ACL, you knew this was... even if his season is not ended already, at least it's before he plays again, it will be towards the end of the season. But at least, like you rightly said, the surgery was successful. Now it's about the recovery process, step by step. So I can say maybe see you, Sadiq Umar, for next season, stronger and better. Well, he won't miss the World Cup because Nigeria are not there. But again, no matter, even if you hate a player, I don't think anyone wants any player to be injured, especially with ACL. It's always sad, but the surgery is successful. Recovery process will start almost immediately. So we hope to see him back better and even stronger. It's good we have good challenge in the Super Eagles, challenging the likes of Osimhen, Awoni, Aku. Not that one person has a direct process. So wish him all the best recovery.
Yeah, full recovery to Umar Sadiq. Austin, do you want to say anything on this before we move on?
No, it's heartwarming because I was so broken. You don't sign that sort of record-breaking deal and have so much ambition to go into a new club that has shown so much love for you with the way they acquired you, and then this sort of injury happens. You go, life is so, unpredictable and it's so delicate. So let's be thankful that it wasn't even a career-ending injury, and now he's gone through a successful surgery. And hopefully he'll be back. His teammates, they did a good job for him today by beating Omonia Nicosia at home in the Europa League. They won their first match against Manchester United, and now they've gotten a second win. So when he starts hearing all of these fantastic stories, it will aid his recovery. So Sadiq Umar, get well soon. We'd love to see you back on the field.
Yeah, hopefully very soon. We wish Umar Sadiq fullest recovery once again. Also, you mentioned the Europa League already, so we're just going to go straight into that and give you the results of the games that have ended. Matches still ongoing, but we're going to be focused on the matches that have been concluded, starting with Manchester United getting their first win in their group with a 2-0 victory against FC Sheriff. Elsewhere, Sociedad defeated Omonia Nicosia by 2-1, while Midtjylland,
That's huge.
That's a big one right there. 5-1 over Lazio. Have they done that? Very interesting. Federer as well to stunning Stormgrass by 6-0. Bolu, of course. This is the shocking result right here. Midtjylland, Lazio.
I was following the United and the Sociedad game, so when I saw the result, I thought, okay, well, Lazio got a man or two down. Until I saw that 11 against 11, 90 minutes, Midtjylland, that has to be the biggest result in the Europa League for today. Final, yes, but you should expect them to wipe them. Not Midtjylland beating Lazio 5-1.
Then sit down, coming. Other results are for you. Freiburg with a 3-0 win over Olympiacos. Nantes featuring Nigeria's Moses Simon lost 3-0 against Karabakh. Monaco lost against Ferencváros 0-1. That's a bit of a surprise as well. While Trabzonspor defeated their opponents by 2-1. Austin.
Yeah. I love what that FC Midtjylland result did to you. It stunned you right there in the face. That's football for you. When we were, previewing the Europa League, I was telling guys on the show that, look, with the Europa League, let me use how we say, anybody can collect, because look at what Freiburg did to Olympiacos. Olympiacos is a traditional UEFA Champions League team. Went to Turkey to embarrass them the way they did. That's football for you. Look at what happened between FC Midtjylland and Roma. Even look at the way Manchester United lost their first match. So this is a league where everyone is saying to themselves that we have the quality to be in the UEFA Champions League, and if we're not there, we must make a statement with the Europa. So it would have been good to see us now, take on PSV, so get talking. But because of the passing of the Queen and some proceedings followed, that game was postponed. So a big day in the Europa League. Monaco also losing at home. Trabzonspor beating Zvezda. I love it in the Europa League, Tayo, because when it gets to the stage where people need to step up, they do just that. So you can't look at a team and say, this is a small team just because they play in a country that is not known. So shout out to all the guys that gave us those stories that can stun Tayo. And I'm here for the upset. I love it so much. So it's a beautiful day in the Europa League.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day, Austin. Thank you for joining us, of course.
I must say thank you so much, Taya, and of course, Bolu, for being on the show, and everyone that has done this with us tonight. Let's be back again tomorrow to talk some more sports. But until then, in London, I'm Austin Okonakman saying, in everything you do, remember to keep talking sports. Bye for now.
Indeed, that's what we're going to be doing. Bolu, many thanks for your time as well. Appreciate your insight and analysis.
Yeah, it's a pleasure being around once again.
All right, hopefully we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Next Thursday, right?
Yeah, sure.
All right, thank you all for watching as well, too. Enjoy the rest of your day. I am Taya Salam.